This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
Coming to you live from Moonbase 2, we proudly bring you the Nerdy Manroom show with your hosts, Hassel and Monster.
Hassel, we decided with this week, because of the new Transformers Rise of the Beast coming out, we are going to cover the original Transformers, the movie from 1986. But before we get that far, let's go ahead and thank our sponsor, These Own Collectibles. You can find them on the internet at theseowncollectibles@gmail.com and on Facebook at These Own Collectibles or in their store at 305 Main Street, Tifton, Georgia. Visit them for all your nerdy needs, from comics to Legos, trading cards, toys, games, and more. Help them support the local artist community by supporting their cause of bringing unity through community. Fandoms unite. And with that, we are going to bring back a favorite classic here with Geek Week. We haven't done one of these in probably the last 3 or 4 episodes, so we decided we were going to start off with there. And Hassel, I'll let you go first this week.
Man, I went on an unboxing spree. I kind of went a little crazy, Monster, to be honest. I got a few things in. I got my Baxter Stockman in the other day, and I was super, super pumped about it. And I unboxed him, and I was like, well, shit. Been kind of putting a few things off. So I went ahead and unboxed my Professor Xavier Marvel Legends pack that I've had on the shelf for about 2 years now. I finally got the balls to unopen him. Unboxing, let him breathe, so to speak. I got him and Warren Worthington the same day. I just went fucking bananas. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Well, we kind of done that. So, and then, I got I'd ordered another Gambit body in the X-Men uniform because I wanted to put the Magneto Age of Apocalypse head on there to get my Joseph, because I was like, I got to have a Joseph. And I sent you pictures. So let me get your take. I hadn't asked you off the record. So
I thought it was cool. The only thing I would have done differently, and you could probably still do it fairly easily, is I would have snipped the braids in the front just because Joseph didn't have that. Because the long hair makes sense. It was just the braids. It's like that keeps throwing me off, because I look at it like, oh, it looks good on the body and it looks like it makes a good Joseph, but those braids just I kept being drawn to them. I'm like, man, I'd have to get rid of those.
I've looked at it a couple of times, like, how do I do this and it not stand out a little bit, because it looks great, especially from the back.
Probably just take a Dremel and saw them and then just kind of sand it just a little bit, I'd imagine, just to keep it with the flow of the rest of the hair, just because those braids come forward. But it wouldn't take a whole lot, I wouldn't imagine anyway.
It looked pretty good all in all, though. I was pretty happy with him. I did try, because I opened the Archangel as well that I've had for some time, and was I let down by that bad boy. But there is a normal Archangel head, or a Warren Worthington head in there. Yeah. And I was like, well, let's just see what it looks like on the body. And I tried it on there, and it didn't look good. Plus, the fact that I will say, anyone that buys one of these for customization, you're going to probably want to paint the neck, because it has the collar that comes up, to a certain degree. But the ball joint and the piece, it is a little bit, it's not as noticeable with the Magneto because of the hair. But there is black there, because, Gambit's got the black, he still had the black thing around his shroud, so to speak. Yeah. So because of that there, the portion of the neck that would be skin tone is still noticeably black. So with Warren, it showed pretty good. Didn't show on Magneto so bad. But
you'd have probably been better off with the morph body then, except for the jacket.
Yeah, that's the thing that keeps throwing me, because I've seen a lot of customizers online where they're like, I'll just get the morph, and I'm like, but what about the jacket? So I was like, Gamma's body fits it pretty damn well. Yeah. Plus, if you got the other pack, you got Forge's hand, Forge and Banshee's hands to kind of alternate between, to where you can get which the one hand on Gambit is fine, but the one hand's got the like this, and I almost had him doing like that, but I was like, no, he's not from the John Wick these fools, wax nobody. I got Gridiron Studios. I got another package from them. I did customize my Firefly. I'm pretty happy with him. Finally,
Until later this month when version 2 comes out, which is more
you,
screen accurate.
you know what? I seen something about that, and I was like, "You son of a bitches!" Because
But that was announced
Gridiron
months ago. You just
Studios,
forgot about it.
I did, and I was like, and in the back of my mind, I was like, "Is it a retro card?" I'm thinking because the retro cards are kind of hard to get, especially in good quality. Yeah, in our area, we don't even get them. So
No,
you're at the
they're
mercy
done
of.
with those.
Yeah, so I was like, was it a retro card or was it regular? So I was like, fuck it. I bought it. And I felt good about it at the time. And I got thinking about it. I said, fuck, I probably just paid more for this Gridiron Studios conversion kit than I would have
Yeah.
paid for. Which I will say, anyone that hasn't tried Gridiron Studios, I highly recommend them, especially if you love just kind of tinkering with your Joes.
Yeah.
Their stuff is real cool. Like the Crimson Bat I got, I put the Gatling gun for an arm. It looks really, really cool. They sent me a free gun this time, a free pistol. And I kind
Oh,
of
that's neat.
compared it to some of the pistols that come to Joe's. A lot better. And the Firefly kit in itself is cool because it's like literally like a little cell phone that slides on the side. It's like 80s type cell phone where it's like the big walkie-talkie deal.
Yeah.
And he's got a drawer that's got like a fucking thing of dynamite. He literally has a little welder on the side, and he's got the goggles that come down. It's a saboteur kit, is what it's called.
Yeah.
And it looks great on him. I mean, and if you cut the vest down the side there a little bit, you could still repurpose that for another Cobra operative if you were to so choose. But I just didn't care for the way it looked. Beyond that, it's pretty well. I stopped there because I was literally the other night. I was sitting here for about 2.5 hours, and I just kept opening shit. And I was like, shit that I've had for a couple of years. I was like, I just gotta open this, and I said, I gotta stop. Like I done went down a rabbit hole. I got crazy, monster. It was bad. So
I can
that was my
understand
geek
that.
week.
Yeah, mine is very similar in some of that vein. Is that was all you had for yours?
Unfortunately, it's been that and work. It's the wife was sick all last weekend, so I kind of
Yeah.
done a little pampering with her and tried to take care of her a little bit. So
In fairness, mine was all work last week because I was changing shifts and doing different training sessions and stuff, and I'm moderating those. But now since I've gotten home, I kind of went on a little bit of a spree too because I opened up several things, but mine was a little bit behind anyway because I haven't had space to put stuff. I had just enough space to put a few things that I had planned to open, and then I had bought a few others I had to put away. But I did. I still have several things I haven't opened just because I need another detail or another bookcase just to open anything else because I am completely stacked on display space. I still got some space for some box stuff, but it's already queued for that, so I really can't use that space unfortunately. But I did open up. All of my I've had several GI Joes. I've got 2 display shelves. I didn't have Lady J and Scarlet for some reason. I never got them to open, and I picked them up for like $10 a piece. Had to open them. I had Outback. I had Flint, or not Flint. Falcon and CoverGirl.
that was the one that slipped by me. Was the Stalker that you sent me? That is a highly slept on figure. I'm gonna be honest because he's never been just like a favorite of mine. But the accessories make this figure. Like when you pull him out, and actually I contemplated keeping him in the box because he's still got a windowed package. But I was like, man, I kind of want to open him. Like I've seen some cool pictures. So I was like, you know what? I think it looked great next to some of the others. And he does look really great next to Spirit. I don't know what it is. The 2 of them together,
So
they look great together, but he has some really cool accessories. And he was a highly slept on figure. I was really impressed with him.
So I wish I built display or like not displays, but the backgrounds and the dioramas and stuff. But how I've got mine set up is that
We know a guy.
Yeah, I do. Spirit's actually holding his rifle as in like a sniper mode in one little area on a riser. The middle riser has Duke on it. The left riser has Flint on it, and then Stalker's like kind of stepping up from Flint's riser to Duke's, and it's like that's a really cool display in the very back of that shelf of mine that I really like. But Stalker does have a lot of nice stuff.
He does. Like I was really impressed. Like even his backpack was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I ended up getting all my GI Joes opening on those 2 shelves except for the regular version of Outback because I've already got the Tiger Force one there, and I would just take him out and put the regular one there, but I have nowhere else on the other shelf to put the Tiger Force one, so I'm like, all right, so I'm just kind of stuck at the moment with him.
Well, let me ask you this, because like we got Tiger Force versions before we got regular versions on a couple of characters. Like I had with Bazooka and Outback and a few others. Excuse me. So when the regular version comes, are you going to open them too?
I was thinking about at one point actually taking all of like getting multiple shelves, and that's maybe what I do because I've got to buy a display area first, right? Something bookshelf or whatever. But what I was going to do is have regular Joes, and then have like in the middle of some of them the leadership, like having Duke up on a stand or something in the middle, or Hulk or somebody, giving them orders and then doing stuff around them, which is how my top shelf is. My middle shelf, Sergeant Slaughter's in the middle. I thought, what if I bought all the different suited ones? Like, okay, you get Tiger Force Outback, Tiger Force Dusty, you get Slaughter's Marauders Barbecue, have Slaughter leading that team of the specialists, but you can still have the regular version there with the rest of the Joes.
See, that's where I'm kind of at right now. Because like I went in for the Marauders Barbecue, and I was like torn whether I was torn whether to open him or leave him in the box. You can't really display the box unless you want to hang him on the wall. And I'm not the Joes. I don't really like hanging on the wall like that. Or a windowless package. I don't care to hang on the wall. Like these here. You can see the figure. I'm cool with only having that version. So I've kind of been on the fence of that sort of thing right there. And like Bazooka is the one that I'm really torn about. Because I ordered the regular Bazooka, I gotta have that one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, damn, do I open him or not? Because I got him in Tiger Force, and he's opened.
So the same thing for me. I've got, and I talked myself into it and said I wasn't, because you and I were talking about it. I did end up ordering a second Tiger Force Dusty so I could open one. And I've already got Bazooka, because I got to think about it. Yeah, it's not just Outback I have. I already have Recondo and Duke and Bazooka open for that. So that's why I'm thinking about, okay, what if I build a shelf that's just the specialist teams, and then have a shelf for the regular teams, and then characters that come in that I may have to move later, like the Big Ben that was a Walmart exclusive. Yeah. He's in his Night Force uniform, so it's colored differently. I'm like, okay, but I could put him on the regular Joe shelf for now. Then if they make the regular one later, because I'm sure they will, because all they got to do is repaint it, then I can move him to Slaughter's shelf and have the whole specialist forces, and you can split those up.
You put it that way, you've been kind of put me into a mental bind, because now I'm like, I only bought one version of Dusty. I bought the regular version. And I didn't buy one to open it. He was my favorite growing up, but I was like, something about the fact that he didn't have the cloth, he had the plastic. It was like, I don't have to open him. But God bless it. Now I'm thinking, do I need? Because I got Tiger Force. I got multiple Tiger Force people. Recondo, Duke, Bazooka. Yeah. I almost feel like now I need to buy the damn Tiger Force Dusty, and he'd be the one I open. I'm going to fuck around and have a Tiger Force shelf force over with.
You don't have to worry about buying one. I bought 3 because I was going to send you one anyway. Because you were on the fence, and I was like, you know what? He's going to sell out. And they actually did sell out. They actually just put more stock on there today. They restocked those for pre-orders today. All of those sold out. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and order one before it sells out on him. Because later on, he'll say, I need one. They won't be able to find it.
This is why this man knows me so well as my friend, because he knows me inside and out.
By the time, because my phone was messing up that day, and I told you this when we were talking, but I couldn't get messages to go in and out. It's like I couldn't get any signal. So I went ahead, when I went ahead and ordered the Arctic back. I already ordered the Dusty. I was like, if you come back and say I found those, I was like, all right, I'll go cancel them. It's easier for me to cancel than to try and order something that's no longer.
And the Arctic bat was like literally, I was able to find the Arctic bat, and like it took me like 3 days to find the Python Patrol Crimson Guard. I don't know why, like he didn't initially show up, then like randomly 3 days later he shows up.
Yeah, and the pre-orders for those sold out pretty quickly, actually. But again, they put them back on there. But I'd already picked them up for you, so you're covered. And if you decide you don't want it, I'll either sell it or I'll just cancel the order before it gets here.
My man.
But yeah, I think I'm going to do it because I think on a Slaughter shelf I could put like Slaughter in the middle, and I could have Slaughter's Marauders here. I could have Tiger Force off on one side.
Else
no. Not on those, but regular Tunnel Rat is coming out soon, and I think they'll either do him as Night Force or as Slaughter's Marauders, because I think they had both of those back in the day.
Well, isn't the Dragonfly version of what's the first tier? Aren't they classing him as Night Force?
Yes, because his jumpsuit is black instead of green. That's the only difference in that. But he was.
I was curious. When I seen the outfit, I was like, I don't see one here that's got the green or blue anywhere. But they would classify him as Night Force
for the Ripcord. Yeah, and we'll get to the HasLab in just a second. But yeah, I think it would be cool if on the shelf if you have like over here's Tiger Force and all because they're colored all the similar with the stripes and the wild colors, and then over here is Night Force. They're all dark, and then you could have somewhere in the middle of Slaughter's Marauders because they're kind of like that camo wild color. It's like that would actually be a cool shelf. And then on the other shelf, here's my regular Joes.
And that may be what happened because I never got an original Flint to just open.
Yeah.
I bought one at full price. And I kept waiting for him to go on sale because God knows him and Lady J sat there for the longest time. And I almost went in for Lady J when I seen her at a reasonable price, but we never got Flint. So, and we're going to get Flint and Tiger Force.
That's already rumored right now, honestly. But I picked up those. I did pick up an Astonishing Ant-Man, which was a Target exclusive. I actually just happened to walk into Target when I was out of town for work, and I was like, hey, there's that Ant-Man. And the box had a little ding in it, but that's one of those that I wanted just to open anyway because he's in a classic costume. You could put him in an Avengers display or with the Fantastic Four because the time he filled in when Mr. Fantastic was missing, fighting Doom, lost in time or whatever, and he was the replacement member for the team. I was like, I already got a spot for him with the FF because I got Black Panther up there. But if I do an Avengers display later, which I've been tempted after this Avengers West Coast box set and all these others that they've been coming out,
I have it.
I've been tempted to do it. I just haven't gone in yet, and I've got a little bit of time to debate about it before I do. But I was like, so I just picked up that Ant-Man, and I actually got like $2 off of them because I had some Target rewards or whatever.
I was so on the fence on that West Coast Avengers box set, and instead I just went in for the what is it? Mezco?
Yeah.
I went in for their version of Silver Centurion that went on sale about 2 weeks ago. I was like, you know what? He's got a light up arc reactor. I got that. He looks great. They are so much better than the. I will say they blow Mayfix out of the water. Yeah,
and I'll say this too is like if I was doing something like that, I probably wouldn't worry with it. The only reason I looked at that box set is just to build a display because I was like. Because and it's not even just a West Coast Avengers, like the Avengers from my period of time, the 80s and 90s, where I could get a decent Captain America thrown on there. The Captain Marvel or Spectrum or whatever you want to call her this week that's coming out with Doctor Doom fits into that set because she was on there then. The retro card Hercules, the current ones that they put out, that bearded Thor that comes with that Destroyer would be great for that shelf because that was that time period. The whole box set of West Coast Avengers, and then you've also got the others like the Hawkeye and the Sky Sled, and that would actually be a cool display.
The full solid white suit Vision that's been on sale for like $12 on Amazon and a few times.
I've got it. I bought him for 10. He's just hanging on the wall, and I was like, I just left him there because I had nowhere to put him, but I would open him up for that. The Scarlet Witch was on the retro card too.
Oh yeah, she was, wasn't she?
Yeah. So I mean, I
seen somebody who took one of those Ant-Man that you're talking about, and they changed the face out.
Yeah.
And because I guess the face is a little lacking. This under there is just kind of closed mouth, but they changed it out to a different face, a head that's got more of an open mouth and looked really great.
The body on that one's really good. He's very posable. The head is a little lackluster right in the face, but I mean the helmet's so big and takes up so much presence that you really don't notice it unless you're just looking that closely at it.
Yeah, and I think that's what this guy done. Is I'm sure Hasbro was like, look. This is the centerpiece. Well, so that guy just wanted to for his collection, but
they are cutting back so much on accessories just because to justify their cost. So now, like when I bought Ant-Man, he's got 2 fists and that's it. And I've seen
the legends have got kind of scarce. I will say that they don't give it a whole lot.
No, they don't.
Unless you buy deluxe. Now the X-Men uniform sets. There was a ton of accessories in those. Yeah,
but I went in for the new set that they just announced that they put it for pre-order. I bought the Commander Rogers because I do plan on putting him with my G.I. Joe, and that would be a great one to put on that shelf of specialty folks with along with Sergeant Slaughter now. Because for whatever reason, I was like that Commander Rogers version just kind of fits what a G.I. Joe look for Captain America would be to me. But he comes with the energy shield, and the kid was looking at it like, hey, let's can I get one too? And he's like, well, he doesn't come with his gun and stuff. I was like, no, he doesn't come with the gun. He doesn't come with either with any other hands. He just has the energy shield. That's it. There's not even separate hands for him. I was like, they are getting very lackluster on that.
But how great would a crossover be with Sergeant Slaughter and Commander Rogers? We just done a crossover episode for you people that missed it, but that would have been epic.
So I bought him just that's probably going to make me do that shelf now just because I thought about I was already planning on putting him with my Joes and I was like, oh no, he would actually fit very well in that specialties team shelf.
Fuck. Well, I've got that.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk you into it before we're done.
Or the captain, so to speak, because I got a shelf on the bottom there. It's got like Silver Centurion. It's in the living room. It's got Silver Centurion, Iron Man, and then it's got the captain. Because I'm not viewing him as U.S. agent. He's the captain. Yeah. And then I got the Thor with the Ravens, the most current version where he was the Herald of Galactus, kind of big. And really, I bought that one just because I like the hammer. That lightning duck version where it's a little blue translucent. It looks so great. I was like, you know what? Target had it on sale one day for like $13. And I got him and the captain both that day. I was like, oh shit, they were both like $13. I was like, I'm gonna go in for them. And then I keep looking at them down there. I'm like, man, I kind of want to put a shelf together and have like some West Coast Avengers on there.
See, I want to do it as an 80s, 90s Avengers, and because I like the Black Knight and Cersei 2-pack as well. It's like I care less about Cersei. I like that version of Black Knight, but if I was building that shelf, that's a perfect setup for it.
Yeah.
But instead of spending too much time on them, I'll say the rest of the stuff I picked up. I did get a few Super 7 Ninja Turtles on sale. I got Ace Duck, the Sewer Samurai, Leonardo, and Ray Fillet all on sale. And I'm keeping them boxed, but they're back there with the rest of my Joes or my Ninja Turtles now.
Let them breathe, monster. Let them breathe.
I'll let them sit. But
not all of them do this Casey Jones thing where we got this terrible midriff. I'm just saying.
So a couple of things I do want to share though, because I'm going to give HasLab some kudos and then I'm going to tear them back down. So I'm trying to decide what order I want to do that in. So I'm going to tear them down first because I got a shipment of Power Ranger Lightning Collections in, and they've gotten to this net mesh packaging stuff, this cardboard that's supposed to protect it. It's fine when it's a single box inside the box, right? It seems to do pretty well. The more multiple boxes you put in there, they just start falling out of that and move all around because they use boxes that are too big anyway. Mm-hmm. So I got 4 of the Lightning Collection figures in. The one that I wanted the most out of that set, my Black Dino Thunder one comes with the side of the box just dented in and crushed, and you can see the bend and all in. I'm like, man, this is terrible. Oh. I sent off to their consumer care. Hey, I ordered this. It was a damaged packaging. What can I do to get it replaced? This and that. So I ain't hearing anything for 2 days, which they said it takes up to 48 hours to hear back. Finally hear back from them today. The first email I get from them slightly rubs me the wrong way, but part of it I accepted. Okay, some of that was my fault too. But they sent it back and said, hey, since you need to contact the retailer that you picked this up from. We only support Hasbro Pulse products, and we're so sorry to hear that you had a bad experience with it, but reach out to your retailer and work with them because there's nothing. I was like, first of all, I ordered from Hasbro Pulse. Here's my order number.
Yeah.
It was ordered on. And I said, but I do apologize. I'm not trying to sound like a smart aleck, but I do apologize because I didn't say that in the original email. I said I pre-ordered it. And I guess I assumed that they would have thought maybe from them, but I didn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't have contacted them about pre-ordering through Entertainment Earth or somebody. I mean,
and that's why I said that's why I didn't go back to a retailer because I did purchase from Hasbro Pulse. Okay, I'll take some of the blame for that. Some of the way it was worded, and maybe it's just the way I read it in my head, kind of struck me wrong at first. And I was like, all right, I'll take that back because I didn't say I bought it from them. But when I sent it back right before the end of my work day, I get another email. I just happened to look at my phone. I was like, hey, they responded. The only response I got is, those are out of stock. Those are out of stock for us. We cannot replace it, but we will send, here's a postage paid paper, whatever, label, so you can print it out and you can send it back to us, and we'll send you a refund check in the mail for the price of it. I was like, first of all, I wanted the figure. I don't really want to send it back to you. I just wanted to send it back if I could get a replacement. Secondly, you manufacturer, how the fuck are you out of stock of it?
Yeah, no shit.
That was the one that rubbed me really wrong. I was like, if I'd have said that for Big Bad or Entertainment, they're like, we're out of stock. We're not buying more. Okay, You're not buying more. You motherfuckers make it. You were going to put it back on there for sale the next time you make a batch of them. And you telling me you can't replace the one that I got? And then it was like, okay, well, you gave me a label, but you didn't give me a box, so you expect me to pay for the box to ship it back to you, and you're going to mail me a check back? Fool, I bought it electronically. Debit it back to my account. You have the information. So I was like, no, you're not getting it back for one, so I'm not even talking to you anymore, but just the way they handled that was completely wrong. And again, I'll take the blame on the first one, but that second one, I was like, how are you out of it? You make it. If you didn't make it, I see this.
Stand good for it.
Yeah.
I will say, I ordered through these people, and mine showed up legit. No lie, but I've been sitting here literally looking at the box for like 2 weeks. Like, do I open or not? Because in my mind, I'm like, this is the last, Jason David Frank figure.
Yeah.
But then literally they announced. I said, well, fuck, they just announced that Green Ranger with no shield. So they're not going to just stop making the figures. So at first I was like, well, is this figure going to hold, like, because sometimes figures hold weird values. Like it's the first figure after or whatever, or it's a low production run, so forth, so forth.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, is this one going to have some kind of sentimental value that, because he's the first one after the passing? And unfortunately, I'm all about making some money, don't get me wrong. And I wish him well in his future endeavors and wherever he's at. But I was kind of staring at like, do I open or not open? I'm an opener.
Yeah.
So he's in pretty good damn condition to what I got from these people. Those who shall not be named. So, like I said, if you want to do a swap, with your terrible
we probably will. I was going to hit you afterwards, but I wanted to save the story for here just because after I got it this afternoon, I was like, really? You're telling me you can't
That's pretty
replace it?
shady. I wouldn't have thought they'd have done that.
I you know what? I get it if you couldn't replace it because you, like I said, if you were big bad and you don't have any more stock, but you make it. How do you run out?
Yeah, if you're a second or third party vendor who's buying from the pimp basically,
yeah,
and selling the stuff off, but this is the pimp you bought from, literally.
Exactly.
They got the product.
Yeah. So that one just because that's what got me. But I will say now, let's take a positive aside with them. This G.I. Joe HasLab, the Dragonfly.
Wow.
Second successful back-to-back HasLab for G.I. Joe Classified. Both of theirs funded within, let's say, 2 days. The first one was in less than a day. This one was in a day and a half. But now, in fairness, that day and a half was because they needed 2,000 more backers. If it had been just 8,000 backers like the last one, it would have been funded in the first day. Not as quick, but it still would have funded in the first day because they were at 8,000 before midnight. So,
dude, I'm gonna be honest. I was impressed with the Hiss. I really was. Cause I'm a Cobra guy. I'm not so much a Joe vehicle fan. I've always been a Cobra guy. But I was super fucking impressed. They took a kind of, I don't want to say a lackluster or mediocre Joe vehicle. It's a very iconic one, but you know what I'm saying?
But
it's not one to just bowl. Yeah, it doesn't exactly bowl you over with features, but they found a way for it to bowl you over with features.
Yeah, they did.
Like literally between the stand, the light up implements, the way the lights do on the missiles and stuff, and it's got the smoke coming off. Dude, that thing looks amazing.
All of that, and all of those plug in each other in different ways, and they're all removable and it's customizable on the copter. They said there is over a dozen ways you can attach the missiles and the Gatling guns and the regular guns and different ways for it to, and even the grappling hook that comes down from it. There's different ways to attach all those to make over a dozen different combinations on the helicopter.
How long before we see a customizer do a Tiger Force? Because it comes with the decals.
Oh, yeah.
The Tiger Force mouth and all that. I mean, I'm an OGer, so I'm going with the Dragonfly decal on the side of mine. But because I really feel like the shark mouth only fits the Tiger Force to me.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to do one and it's going to look fucking great.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you what, the figure, the Wild Bill it comes with off the bat, one of my favorite Joes, and if it had been no other reason than just to get him, I would have went in for it. But he looks so good from a toy perspective. And I will say that it's not the show colors because he wore a blue shirt in the show and like jeans, and this is the full flight jumpsuit, which is what the toy was.
The Union Cavalry colored scheme.
Yeah, but I did look at the toy, the original toy, and the later the 25th anniversary one. He comes in the jumpsuit, so that is toy accurate. But I would have preferred the show one, but I do still it's Wild Bill, so I went in for it. And I love how he comes with the Colt revolvers and stuff, and
that looks really cool.
That is weapons you haven't seen with the rest of them. But the first tier is the 13,000 tier, and it's the we were talking about the Night Force Ripcord, which Ripcord is not a necessity. I mean, I want all the Joes to have a full team, but he's not a favorite by any means. But I will go in. I hope they hit that mark for that. But the other
he was not a make or break for me, honestly. I didn't give two shits whether he was there or not. I mean, he's just not one of my Joes. You know what I'm saying?
Same here. But I am so excited to see. Okay, we got to hit that because I want to see. For one, I do want him because I went in for it anyway. But for two, what's the other two tiers? I want to know who the other characters are because they're saying it's people. So. As long as it's not a repaint and say, okay, here's a Tiger Force Flint now because you bought it.
Oh, shit.
If you do something like that, I'm going to be no.
I'm going to be pissed. But I want two new Joes, and I figure one's going to be a generic Joe, one to be a quality Joe. Because we, the Hiss, you got your generic ass technician, so to speak.
Yeah.
That the fans got to vote upon for the color scheme. But then you did end up with a retro card Cobra Commander that I'm fucking envious as hell of. So what do you think this is? I've heard rumors of several different things. So what do you think?
The rumors I have heard are Doc. Every rumor I've heard and the things that they said on the live stream was it makes sense for this toy, this copter. So I'm assuming it's got to be either Air Force people or something like a rescue operation like Doc or Lifeline or somebody like that. Doc is the one I've heard the most of.
I've heard Doc and Lifeline with the the actual
medical bed for the
because it's got the hoist that comes down to pick it up. So that makes the most sense. And I've heard retro car General Hawk too.
Oh, that would be interesting. I'm not as big. I'd rather just have a General Hawk.
I don't care about General Hawk. I'd rather give me Doc and Lifeline. I'm happy.
I've heard Doc. I've heard Lifeline. I've heard Airborne, which was another.
I've heard Airborne and Crazy Legs. I've heard both of those.
Liftic is the only one that fits that bill too that I haven't heard, but he came with the Tomahawk originally, so they're probably saving it for that.
Do you think we'll get a Tomahawk?
If they keep going this way and they keep selling them, because that one's going to have to be freaking huge.
It's going to be a big team has to be on cloud 9 because right now they can't fucking lose.
How bad do you have to feel to work for Star Wars right now, man? Motherfucker.
Dude, that Rancor I sent you with the Cobra Beret on.
Yeah,
that was the best shit. It was like tier 3, and it was like the Rancor monster with the Cobra Beret going.
The best comment. The best thing to me is the comment once the copter got funded and Hasbro posted, "We are fully funded and it's coming with this. And how can we reach the next packing if you continue to back it?" And the second comment under is like, Star Wars Black Team is sitting there going like, "What the fuck does funded mean?"
I gotta go check. I was sitting there at work when I came across my phone. It came across my watch actually. And I looked. I said, "What the fuck did I say?" And I had to put my phone. I was like, I started laughing, and like my engineer's like, "What the hell are you laughing at?" I'm like,
"Don't worry about it." Inside joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I looked at it before we started too, and once they reach the goal, it always starts to slow down anyway. But it looks like they're going to hit that first tier because they're at 11,901 now. They got to get to 13, so I think they'll hit the first tier before it gets a full week into it because it started on Monday. So if they hit 12, because some people may not.
It has seemed to slow though. I will say that.
It's slowed incredibly.
They're kind of waiting. Like you and I were discussing earlier because I was like, "Damn, this thing just stopped." But like you said, I mean, people are waiting to see what they're announcing.
I've heard some other people saying they're waiting to see what the other two announcements are before they go in. A lot of people said they were waiting until they got funded before they went in, and then it seemed to take another jump right after that. And then now it's like at 11.9. I'm looking at it right now. It's like 13 will be the next. So I imagine that hopefully by Monday, because there may be people who haven't even looked at it because of work week and stuff. Like I'm working all week. I'll look at it on the weekend. I heard about it, but I'm not going in until I check my finances, and maybe I need to do that on a Friday when I get paid or whatever.
Fairly good amounts because I mean when we discussed it earlier it was like 11.7. Then by the time you and I got through talking it was 11.8. So it's 11.9 now. So I mean,
I know a few other
climbing.
I know a few other collectors I talked to and they're like, yeah, I'm going in for it, but I got to do my budget and stuff first, figure out how I'm paying for it because it's going to hit me in when's it hit, and it's like July 14th or something when you get charged for it.
Okay, well let's discuss this then real quick before we move on to Transformers. How many fall off? Because I mean with every crowdfunding. You have those people that get that initial excitement and they sign on. Like I even done it with the hits myself. And then for whatever reason, life happens. Unfortunately, sometimes you just have to back out. Because like I was getting married at the time, so hey, I wound up with a wedding at the same time. So I was like, fuck, I can't back it now. I thought I could, but I can't. So how many do you think we have fall off roughly?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think that you're going to see another surge though in the weekend when people get a chance to stop long enough from work and look at their budget if they're working on Monday through Friday, right, or whatever day they are, or when they get paid again or whatever. They look at their budget. I will say this: that I've heard a lot of other people too, and I didn't even get to it. You talking about people dropping off? I've heard other people talking about buying a second one.
Wow, dude. Well, I mean, that's the thing about it. I've seen several of these people where they're like talking about multiples, and that's why I figure we'll get some Tiger Forces.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's stupidly overpriced for what you got in it. Like I thought the Ghost Rider was overpriced for what you got with it. This doesn't feel it's expensive, but it's not overpriced for what you get. It's like what $295 by the time you pay taxes on it. But you get a lot of stuff where there's a lot of things you can do. You could customize and have more. But there's also the key factor of. So I've got Galactus, and I've not opened mine, but everybody else who opens up all these HasLabs, when I see them, Galactus is inside styrofoam in the box, and all of his heroes that came with him are in that same box in the same styrofoam in their own little spot. I noticed on this, the GI Joes that are coming with it are coming in numbered packages too, just like they sell the regular ones.
Yeah, well, I think they did with all theirs. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how many people are going to buy a second one? Just not even just to customize it, but to have Wild Bill and Ripcord and whoever else comes with it still in their package, and open one to put it on display. Because that's the only reason I'm considering buying a second one. Just I really would if it wasn't for Wild
Well,
Bill.
you know, those figures
he's
will go
favorite.
for like ridiculous prices.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's say the hits was $300, right? When around that, yeah, it was $300. I want to say.
Yeah.
That Cobra Commander will easily be on the second and third party market for $180 to $250 every time you turn around. That's what you're gonna find him for. So you're looking at over almost half to 3/4 of what the whole damn thing cost.
And people are buying these and keeping them in the box because they are numbered and stuff. And there's a whole set collection type thing to that. Now, I do it just because I like to have them in the box. But like for me, Wild Bill's one that I want to still have in a box. So if they do one of them later and I can get him in a different, even if it's a Night Force one, because he was a Night Force character, I'm like, fine, I'll buy him in the Night Force and have that one in the box.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a little more frugal with my money. Some of these people are not. They're like, hey, I need a second one, have it in the box.
Well, some of them bank on the fact that they're going to flip this stuff because I literally, like with the Matty Collector New Generation Arena here, okay, I went in for that right there. And before Ringside Collectibles cut everybody's fucking throat like they did by selling fucking figures on there for $75 to $100, the fucking New Gen Diesel and Macho Man, they were going for $200 a piece. And the whole damn arena wasn't but about $250, I want to say. So it's like, holy shit. And then, because Doink was going about $100 to $120, and that's what I kept seeing him bounce at. But then, ringside, they got just the 3 figures, and they were selling them for like, I forget, it was $75 to $100, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I was like, you just fucked everybody. And I'm not big on rescalping like that, but I was like,
no, I don't either. But I saw somebody on my Instagram, and one of the stores I go to had gotten in the Galactus HasLab. They got in not the Galactus, but just the Heralds. Somebody sold them the Heralds, and they're selling just the Heralds alone, no packaging, nothing else but them alone. They wanted like $75 to $100 for just those at the store.
Wow.
So they had to buy them for at least half of that from the person. I'm like, Jesus, you can just go sell those and make up half of your money back from Galactus.
Well, let me ask you this, and we'll move on. Okay, I know you don't collect wrestling figures like I do. How do you feel on the initial Ultimates line when they first came out? They were the first ones that were kind of like really priced high for WWE figure. So those first few figures, like the WCW Ultimate Warrior, that Bret Hart, Triple H, I believe they were the big 3. They were going for like $200 a piece. I've seen them for fucking $200 loose. Like literally, they were that rare and that valuable. Because I literally went in for the fucking Bret Hart. I swapped the Defining Moments Bret Hart with another trader or collector, and got that there. And then next thing you know, they start announcing these best of. Like matter of fact, there's a King Harley Race that's out there, and he's round about 250 to 300 bones. And they just done a best of version of him, Elites. This exact same figure. And like the Ultimate Bret Hart, the re-release, there is nothing on this fucking box that looks any different. It's not colored differently, the different deco. Him and Triple H, their box is exactly 100% the same. The only way you'll know the difference is the stamp of the date.
Yeah.
And now WCW Warrior has been announced, which I was happy because I really have not wanted to spend $200 fucking bucks for that figure, but I've wanted him, it's the only fucking WCW Warrior we'll ever get. So it's like, well, how do you feel about that sort of thing? Because it does devalue wise, because with the original figure, even though it's got the original stamp on there, you're reflooding the market with another 10,000 or so of this figure.
I don't necessarily like it, but I don't get too mad about it just because for my collection, I'm buying it for me. I really don't care about resale value typically. It doesn't make me angry, but I can see where I feel like it's like, okay, it's kind of crappy too. And I have a few convention exclusives. I'm like, all right, if you release that regularly, then why would I'd be pissed because I wasted my money buying the convention exclusive at a little bit higher price just to get it. That's
If you
probably what
bought
would
it
make
at
me
base
angry.
price, I guess it's not a big deal. But the collectors that's, in the last couple of years
Yeah.
that missed out and they had to buy to the second or third party
That would
price,
piss me off.
it's shit's all over them.
That's like I have the white. So when they did the white Blackest Night, Brightest Day storyline, the White Lanterns that they came out with were con exclusive. Sinestro, Hal Jordan, there was a Flash, and there was a Batman. I have all of them but the Batman and the White Lantern outfit. And I gave barely above convention price, like maybe 10, 15, maybe $20 above convention price because I wasn't at those conventions, but I found them right away on eBay immediately. And they weren't too bad. But like I saw the White Lantern Batman one recently in a store, and it was like over $100. I'm like, I'm not giving that for it.
No.
Now, if I'd have spent that for it because I really wanted to complete that set, and then somebody came along and they put that out there and you could buy it, the exact same one, not a different one, but the exact same one, you could buy it for the regular price of $25. I'd be a little pissed at myself because I spent $100 on it. That's what would hurt my feelings more.
Yes, I have mixed feelings on it. I'm not a reseller myself. Like I've resold
Yeah,
very little things.
I've done
My
some, but
daughter
it's not
graduated.
enough.
I done some, and a few times here or there through our sponsor, Zone Collectibles. So I don't. I figure they'll sell this shit when I'm dead.
Yeah,
So for the
same
most
here.
part, but it does suck. Because with the Bret Hart, I literally got rid of a $200 figure to acquire another two. I was like, well, I'm breaking even here. I
Yeah,
really wanted that figure. I've got the defining moments loose. I'll sell the one in package or trade the one in package for a figure that I don't want to spend $200 for.
yeah.
And then
No
literally
way.
like 6 months after it hits my fucking wall, they announced that, and I was like, "You son of a bitches!"
So I know we've got to get to our rewind review, but I will share two more quick things that I did do for my Geek Week. Since I've gotten home, I've been to the movies quite a lot because I've gotten some deals and got to go to some. But I went and watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Very short, excellent movie. I gave it a 9 based on movie merit, 8.5 as a Spider-Man fan because there's some things you're like, maybe I wouldn't do that. But I will say I'm very excited to see the next part because it ends you on a cliffhanger, a very good one. And it sets it up the next movie up very well. And I just saw today that was probably going to be delayed because of I guess some of it might be due to the writer's strike
The
and some of
Writers
it because
Guild.
they haven't started actually recording any of the stuff yet because of that. And then as a lead into our rewind review today, I did go to an early screening of Transformers: Rise of the Beast last night. I won't give any spoilers. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. Probably for me, I enjoyed the very first live action Transformers the most out of the live action was just because it was the first time we got that after 30 years of wanting something like that. So, but it holds a special place for me just because of that. But this one had a much better story, had much better action. You could see what was going on. Like in the first one, I always complain because you get lost in the action because they're like overhead and the shots are from under them. I'm like, well, what's really going on? But this one is wide spanning shots. You see everything. But I gave it a solid 8. I would have given it. That's not even a word. But I would have given it a 9. But I will say I took a couple points away or a point away because of two major things that just annoyed the crap out of me. I won't mention them here, but they just got on my nerves, and I was like, nope, I got to take a whole point away just for that. Overall, though, very good movie, very enjoyable. And hopefully it does well enough to open the door for more of them later on.
I hope so, because I really, like we were discussing before, I hadn't seen the movie. It'll be Saturday before I see it. But the team behind this, the team behind Bumblebee, they seem to put a lot of love in.
Yeah.
They're really OG, based people. Even though they put John Cena in the first one, they are very
And he
OG
fit the
type
role
people.
of what he was trying to be.
He did. He didn't go outside his box, and it wasn't like more focused on him and silly shit. So I could get behind it. And I do enjoy the line like later. They're called Decepticons. Did we not see this coming?
Yeah. Well, and there was this one had that same kind of feel to it. My only thing is when you go forward from here, do you just go back to G1 or do you go because you can't do it on Beast alone. Beast Wars as popular as it was not the same level of popularity as G1. You look at the toy sales now.
Let's be honest. Beast Wars filled a void for us because we wasn't getting any more than G1 shit. The G2 shit to bed. We wasn't getting no new. So Beast Wars, or however you want to look at it, it filled that void. Yeah.
Any series after that, because none of the series perform as well. Prime was actually a pretty good show, but the series, none of the series performs well. The toy sales don't perform as well unless they go back and make the G1 again. Look at the sales for the Siege trilogy where they did all that stuff and the Kingdom stuff. When they got the Kingdom and they were doing the Beast, the sales dropped way off, and you find those still in discount stores now. The G1 looking ones like the Optimus and stuff they did, the Rodimus, you don't find them anywhere.
No, they sell very well, and that's what the fans want. I mean, we're fans of the original product. You don't sway too much from that. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And it's going to be the same thing with this. Like I had actually enjoyed the movie and seeing the Beast with the Autobots, and I could continue seeing that. But if you took just the Autobots away and had the Beast, my enjoyment level would probably drop 2 or 3 points. This would have been like a
I don't want to see a
6.5,
Maximus movie. I want to see a Transformers movie.
Yeah. Now I will say, Ron Perlman's Optimus Primal was very well cast.
I said what little I've heard of him, I'm a fan so far, which I'm a Ron Perlman fan. So I mean, it's hard to not really like the dude, and he just does really well at everything he does. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue for us from Transformers: Rise of the Beast, the newest Transformers movie, to another thing we're going to bring back this week that we haven't done quite in a while, a rewind review, and we're going to talk about Transformers movies in 1986. And given time-wise, we might not get to spend as long on this as we were originally going to, but hey, it was still a good conversation up to this point. So, Hassel, I'm going to let you start. Where do you want to go with this movie first?
Man, we'll start with soundtrack alone. Stan Bush, come on, bro. How can you not? I mean, literally, if you say Transformers movie, you just hear Transformers. I mean, between that, Instruments and Destruction, The Touch, that whole soundtrack is a banger.
It is. Have you ever watched on YouTube honest trailers where they make fun of movies by talking about what should have been in the trailer, and they pick out stuff like, so when they did the Transformers, they're like who could forget such popular hits like. And they play "You Got the Touch" by Stan Bush. Then they go to another scene that's playing, and then they go like 4 scenes later. It's like they just keep saying, "And this banger from Stan Bush, and this one from Stan Bush," and it's always "You Got the Touch" at every scene.
Yeah, it was those hilarious. 3 songs. You open with Transformers. During the first initial attack, you got Instruments of Destruction, which fit very well, and then the Touch gets played several times after that. But I will say, when the Touch first comes on. And you get like Prime rolling through there, and he starts just mowing through those fucking Decepticons. Yeah. Like literally, Dirge just sitting there, like just staring. And I was like, oh.
That's like on that honest trailers. It's like it shows Prime transform and do his little thing where he starts mowing them down and just shooting them, and then the narrator for the honest trailers is like, seriously, you're gonna kill this guy? He's the victor here. And then it comes back. Like, then it shows a scene where coming soon, the return of Optimus Prime when they did it for the animated series. It's like, oh, okay, we got you now. The narrator's hilarious on that thing.
Literally, okay, let's think about it. You had I really you don't put this together initially, but you had your 2 scenes where it really showed just how badass both these characters are. Because you got your Decepticon initial attack, and you realize that Megatron's a fucking beast. Yeah, because Ironhide all throughout the first 2 seasons, he's a pretty stout bot. Well, and he literally just blasted him in the fucking head like such heroic nonsense, like it's nothing. Poor Prowl's just done for on sight. 2
of the major lieutenants just blown away in the very opening scene. They're like,
boom, just like that. They're done, and you get a vibe like, holy shit, Megatron really is a bad motherfucker. But then when Prime, the ship finally lands and Prime gets off, and you get dun, 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 and he's just standing there and then he transforms like, oh, this dude's a badass. He's finna fucking go beast mode on these fools, and he does. Oh, I get nostalgic just thinking about it.
I will say that if you go and watch, I don't care what it is, if you watch from Transformers, any movie that's a theatrical release movie, this is the one that blows the rest of them away. And yes, it's animated. But it's still, and you can do more in animation with transformation and some of the scenes and stuff, but the plot alone of this one is so much better than any of the others.
If they will stick with what they done on this one, with their prequel new animated movie they're talking about doing, I think they'll be very successful.
Dude, this one is, I will say this too, as a kid and you go to the theater, and especially in our day in the 80s, and we would go and you had the children's movies and you watch them and stuff, like, as many of those as I enjoyed, this is the one that resonates the most. This is the one that I can remember word for word, line for line, no matter what. I can sit there and watch it all day long. Like, and I loved some of the other movies, right? Like, stuff we got, thinking back to our childhood, Aladdin, and even Lion King, even some of the Disney movies and stuff. But this is the one that's like, all right, this is the one that stands out above any of the rest of them. And I want to.
Let's be honest. Were you scared to go watch G.I. Joe the movie after Transformers?
Well, no, and honestly, because they didn't even release it in the theaters because of the performance of Transformers and My Little Pony. G.I. Joe went straight to video. They might have had some limited theaters actually show.
Well, I'm saying, were you scared for the initial watch?
Oh, no, I was more excited.
They hesitated not to kill Prime, and you're like, oh shit, what are they gonna do to Duke? Boy might be gone.
Well, I didn't like that per se that they were going to kill him off too, but at the same time, I was like, I was not in the camp of people who actually hated Rodimus. Now, I wasn't happy that Hot Rod got Optimus killed, but as a character, especially after the third season, you get to see his growth, and even in the movie, you get to see some character development for him. I actually didn't dislike Rodimus. I will say if I had listed out my top three, and we've done this before on Transformers, but if I had to put them in actual order, Optimus, Ultra Magnus, Rodimus is number 3.
I got no hate for Rodimus. I will say, when it comes to the Joes, though, Lieutenant Falcon can eat a big one. Because I'll break out some Master P. I miss my homies real quick for Duke. But so
Falcon was no Duke, and I think they realized that very quickly because they didn't even really portray him in anything else after that. But in this instance, I think they thought they were just, let's be honest, they killed all the characters off in this movie just to be able to sell new toys that were coming into the market.
They did. Okay, well, let's touch on that. Okay. The new generation versus old, because that wasn't G2. It was still G1, but the new generation of bots that come in after them in the movie to season 3, 4, however you want to look at it. How did you feel about them versus the initial bots?
The main ones from the movie I was a fan of. So your Springer, your Ultra Magnus, your Cup, RC, the Junkions. I had no problem with them. I enjoyed them. The only season 3 characters that stand out to me as fan favorites for me watching it was the Technobots because it was another combiner, and I actually liked the Computron combiner. Okay. The rest of the season 3 bots that were introduced that hadn't already been introduced in season 1 or 2, I don't dislike them. I have a lot of them right here, but they didn't do anything for me. I thought the Headmaster concept was really cool, but at the same time, I was like, there's little people in there and this. How did you work together all the time? The Target Master, same sort of scenario, and I didn't understand the Target Master. I'm like, how did they they're wearing an exosuit. How did they transform into the gun where they've been completely in half? So that's some flexible dudes.
Some spine bending action, or as the old WWE Jags Pacific, bone crunching action.
Yeah, so a lot of the characters that came in season 2, like your Skylinks and Smokescreen, or some of those that got prominently featured in season 3, they were already there. So I don't harbor anything. I don't think I could say that I feel a different way about them than I do from what came before the movie, just because they had already been on there before. Like Defensor is my favorite combiner. He was in season 2, and he was prominently featured more in season 3 than any of the other combiners besides Computron.
I do feel like season 3 would have probably been better if it was more on Earth. The fact that it was primarily on Cybertron, it seemed very alien. And I get that's what they were trying to separate the two. I wasn't a big Springer fan at all. I'm still not. I enjoyed Ultra Magnus. I didn't ever care for him. He's like one of the ones like, it is what it is. I dug RC. She was a good vibe. I actually loved Cup in the movie. Show, he's so. Ultra Magnus, I don't know. Ultra Magnus kind of come off like a bitch to me. I don't know.
Ultra Magnus.
I guess he was. Well, I guess he tried to fill that void. So I was kind of like, and then he's like, open, damn it. I was like, dude, you ain't the one. You are not that one. So from that point on with me, he was like, I'm watching you doing this.
I liked him because he played the straight-laced leader to a new emerging leader.
Yeah.
He was kind of the confidant for him without taking his spot. Cup, same thing, kind of an advisor to the young kid. I kind of dug him, and he was the grumpy old grizzled veteran.
That's why he reminded me like this Clint Eastwood type character.
He was basically your new generation Ironhide to me.
Yeah.
And I felt like in the way he's portrayed, the new generation, Ultra Magnus was the new generation Prowl. However, Prime didn't really need Prowl's input as much as Rodimus needed.
I will say I did like Ultra Magnus a lot better on what was the Netflix series? Like that scene where he's like got the little cloak on and he's marching into the Decepticon. It's like, okay, I got some respect for you now, buddy. You're no Robert Stack still, but I got some respect for you. You're not Unsolved Mysteries, but
yeah, I enjoyed them. Blur was another one that he was just a fun character. I thought he was kind of cool.
It was good to see him mesh with Grimlock, though. Like the two of those together had that buddy cop syndrome.
And I would say the prominent characters that came over from season 2 to me that stood out the most: Blaster, Perceptor, Skylinks, and actually Blaster's Tates, because you saw them in the first ones before the movie, but you never saw them really do much. They actually got some screen time, and I enjoyed all of those. And Blaster and Perceptor and Skylinks are all in my top 10 regardless, but I enjoyed seeing them. I'm trying to think of anybody else that came in. I will say for a off-beaten character, that DevCon that they introduced as a friend of Smoke Screens in season 3, and now he's a very popular like bounty hunter type character for him. That's a pretty neat one.
Okay. So are you a Galvatron or a Megatron guy?
Megatron was... I liked Galvatron better until the third season. I liked him better until they made him crazy.
I loved him in the movie. And I'm a Megatron guy. Like series wise, Megatron hands down. Movie is like, holy shit, this Galvatron's a bad motherfucker. When it got to the series, he got insane.
When they made him insane and stuff, that was kind of crappy. But I liked him better than Megatron. Other than that, because Megatron to me always seemed like he had a lot of great plots, but other than in the movie when he showed out, he was very, I don't know, downplayed, I guess. Like how
bad did you feel for Cyclonus for having to be his keeper? He was pretty much his keeper the entire third season. Like
he was a great villain to me. I liked him a lot. There was
so to you is Cyclonus Skywarp or is he Bombshell?
So I have never tried to actually figure it out, but I want to say I thought he was the plane, and I thought everybody else, all the sweeps were Insecticons, honestly, because it made more sense because all of you guys got reformatted to this, and you're the one outlier, so you got reformatted to this.
One of the writers finally went on record and was like, "Look, it's Skywarp. It was an animation era that made Bombshell look like he was, because everyone's like, well, no, he was the leader of the Insecticons. That's why he went." I was like,
But so let's talk about one thing that I wanted to hit on was the significance of this as a animated series movie, because this is the first one that actually got to go to theaters and be a theatrical release. Now, good and bad of that. Bad because of the performance of it, and parents back then didn't just take their kids to the theaters as much. We really had to beg for it. Like me and my kid go all the time now, but when I was that young, we didn't get to do that.
It was an event in the 80s. If you got to go to the theater for something, it was an event.
Yeah, we've hopped in the car twice this week. We went Tuesday night and Wednesday night to the theater. So, I mean, back then you had to beg.
On TV, let's go to the theater.
Yeah, but back then you had to beg for it. But so the performance wasn't there to make more of them, but all the other ones that had theatrical, the only other one that had a theatrical release as a series back then was My Little Pony, which I didn't even realize that until like just a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah. But G.I. Joe didn't get a theatrical release. It got a re-release now, and it was sold out at the theaters for the re-releases. And then you had He-Man and She-Ra: Secret of the Sword they were just playing those as episodes of the show, splitting it up into 5 parts or putting it straight on video. Ninja Turtles, the very first Ninja Turtles miniseries was straight to DVD or video, and then on TV when they started the series, that was the first few episodes.
Yep.
This is the thing that actually changed and said, okay, we could actually do that. Now all these shows get movies.
It was kind of the pioneer, so to speak.
We were looking through releases last night because we keep a list on our fridge on our little whiteboard over there. Okay, for the next 2 months, what's the movies that's coming out that we want to go watch, because we're big on going to the movies. So we said, well, let's look ahead even further. And I looked out and I'm like, man, they've got different. Like Paw Patrol has another movie coming out in the theaters. Like every Disney series now gets a movie. Teen Titans Go had what 2 or 3 movies that actually ended up hitting the theaters.
Well, even if they hit limited release at this point, they'll try their hand at it, like maybe unlimited, 2,500 screens or some shit like that. But that's revenue.
Oh, back then for the stuff we watched, you didn't really get that. I mean, you might get a movie, but it's going to be on video or it's going to be part of the show, and that was it. So now you get that stuff, and it's like, oh, you get to go live.
Yeah, most kids in the '80s, they got to see the movie through video rentals.
Yeah,
it was more prevalent for through video rental versus actually getting your. Because like I said, it was an event if you went to the theater. There was a couple big movies you went unless your parents just really wanted to see something.
But now, if you're into one of these shows as a kid now, and they'll put out a movie, and it's like, oh, I get to go see it on a bigger screen on a bigger scale. So you get to feel that event just from the fact of. Not because going to the movies is an event, but because it's an event for my favorite show. Back then, it was like it's an event to go to the movie. Now it's an event for the show. So it's kind of a different concept.
Well, we could have went to the theater for like $1 a person or $2.50 max. Oh, we can't fucking go. Now it's 50 bones if you 2 people go to the movies, and it's like, oh shit, let's go over 2 days.
Yeah, well, that's why we went. So like we missed Spider-Man last weekend. I was like, man, I don't like going there in the week because I got to work anyway, and I got to wake up in the morning. And it throws my because by the time I go to the movie and come back and it's 9 o'clock, I'm sitting there wanting to watch TV and eat. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's 11:30. I'm not in bed yet. I got to get up in the morning. Dang it. But we picked Tuesday night to go because it's like $5 Tuesdays at the theaters now. I was like, hey, I'm going to get a deal to go see it on Tuesday night versus if I went this weekend.
See, we don't have one close. That's the problem here. Like literally, I have to drive 30 minutes to get to a theater.
Yeah.
Well, we have a very. Let me rephrase this for our Fitzgeraldins that may be listening. We have a retro theater here in town that we used to do school plays in when I was a child. Then they got a screen they pull down, and it almost gives you the vibe of like when you went into the classroom in junior high and you seen the projector and you're like, oh shit, we up today, boys. It gives you that vibe.
Hey, I don't have a problem with that per se, but the length of movies now, I could not sit there in those uncomfortable chairs and watch it. Like I go to the theater now, I have a hard time staying awake because we've got recliners and stuff. You push the button, you recline back, and I'm like, especially at night, I'm like, am I falling asleep? Oh, I gotta wake up. I'm here to watch a movie. I gotta stay awake. Let me sit back
like at least an hour round trip to go to any theater, so it has to be something I really want to see because I already know if it was a late, if you don't get into the 7, it's gonna be the 9 o'clock. So you're looking, you're not getting out to 11. Then you got a 30-minute drive home, and it's like, so that's a weekend affair for me. So I don't get a lot of during the week movies.
Yeah, I don't typically either. And we're 15 to 30 minutes away. 15 on normal traffic, but afternoon traffic trying to get there at 5 or 6 in the afternoon. It's rush hour here. It's a 30-minute drive because traffic's terrible. Let's see. That was the biggest things I had from the movie this year. I don't know if you had any others or not. I know we went long with some of our updates.
Yeah, we went long and we apologize. The only other thing I have is how many tears does the death of Prime still get you with?
Oh, man, we ain't going to talk about that.
Dude, I don't give a shit how old you are.
It still hits.
You don't at least get a little misty-eyed.
Yeah,
you don't get some dust in your eyes to the point that it's like, damn, my allergies.
Yeah.
You ain't got a soul, brother. I'm just telling you. I'm 43 years old, and I've seen this movie millions of times. And every single damn time when it's got I fear the worst from Perceptor, like, son of a bitch. Don't say that.
He comes up, do not grieve.
He's like being consoling. Like he's passing on to be one with the Allspark, and he's like, till all are one, and like, no, not Prime. I was like, dude, that shit all feels.
So I got to make fun of one thing though, because you watch that movie and you watch so many of them die.
Mm-hmm.
They just get killed off immediately. Only 2 of them decay and turn gray immediately when they die. One of them is Prime, and the other is Prowl. If you watch Prowl, like the smoke comes out of his mouth, and his whole color just fades and he turns gray. And everybody else is like, "Oh, it's them," but they're not moving, and they might have holes in them. But like those 2 just decay and die immediately. It's like, what did y'all do? What's wrong with y'all's bodies? compared to everybody
Okay.
else.
Well, Starscream actually turns gray before he ashes out, but
But he's disintegrated. That's different.
Yeah, so was Prime and Prowl the only two that were one with the Force?
I don't know.
Mastered the Jedi, becoming a Force Ghost deal to where they.
That and I never understood. I guess they did it for the effect of showing him die, but when Prime dies and his head immediately goes. I'm like, you were laying down. Why would your head just fall backwards?
Is that reaction figure that's gray with the chest open and his head turns sideways? I literally was like, I've been tempted to buy this, but I just feel like I'm going to look at my wall and be like, God damn, I'm traumatized all over again.
But have you ever noticed that though when he dies and his head goes to the side?
Oh, it jets quick.
But you're laying down. Why would your head just go backwards?
Makes me wonder when I croak, am I going to do that? I want to tell my children and wife, if I do this, look out for your boy. He might be gone.
What we'll do is at your funerals, we'll paint you gray, turn your head to the side, and open up your chest.
You know what? I'm fine with that. As long as somebody takes my fucking cell phone and texts everyone afterwards and says tell all or one, I'm fine with that. Well, thank you for coming. One of the two.
Oh, we're going to take your cell phone and pass it off to one of your children as you pass in the Matrix to them. And they can send the message out.
That's fine with me. No, I'm good with that. Long as we get a good scare to some people, I'm good.
That reaction figure though, that did get me. I had bought a few reaction figures, just my absolute favorite characters that they've come out with and hung them up. And I looked at that and I was like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, I think Mr. Mitten sent me a picture. He had seen that somewhere, and I was on the fence like, pick it up for me. And I was like, I don't know. I probably don't need that because I'm going to just look at the wall and be like, oh.
It was traumatizing as a child to see him go down, though.
It was.
I would say now it's more of I feel bad about it and it's emotional, but it's not as traumatizing anymore. It's like you're coming back. We already know this. Back then, you didn't know they were going to do
Optimus Prime will return, kids.
Yeah, he did. Like what? Just 3 months later, maybe.
Yeah, it didn't take them long to realize. Hey, we shit the bed here. Let's get it back.
Yeah. Well. But with that, I think we're ready to move into Nerd Out, sir. And for everybody who hadn't been here, and I know we didn't give a huge amount of review, but by this point, I think everybody's seen the movie from 1986. It was more we just wanted to talk about it.
Where the hell have you been?
Yeah, if you haven't, I've got like 3 different copies at the house, so just ask. I'll send you one of them. You're not getting the Blu-ray or the 4K Blu-ray one. That one's new, but you'll get one of the older ones.
Gotcha.
But with that, let's move into Nerd Out. So for anybody who hasn't been here before, this is part of the show. We ask random questions centered around the topics of the day. We respond with no prep time. And if you want to expand on any of our answers or share your own, please feel free to do that in the comment section below. We'd like to hear your stuff, especially so we can tell you how you're wrong since you didn't agree with us.
Exactly.
So, Hassel, I'm going to let you go first because you were going first on everything else today.
Oof. I have no Nerd Out prepared. So... Okay, let me think. I got you one.
Well, that was quick. I wasn't expecting it that quick.
Alternate reality. It's a Transformers movie still. Who do you think, with the exception of Ultra Magnus, you got to take him out of the loop? If Rodimus was not the one to, get the Matrix and open it and all that, who else would have fit into that role with what was left?
The only characters I could have seen taking a leadership role, if you take, let's just take Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus out of it because they were both in a leadership role, and we know Magnus doesn't fit it. Springer to me doesn't come off as a leader. He's the loner guy. He's your Tommy. He's your Green Ranger of your Transformers. He's not a leader. He never came off that way. Blaster was in the comics, but didn't come off that way on the show. Maybe you could have tried it with him. Same thing with Perceptor. He was the same way in the comics. He became a leader later on. Maybe you could have tried him, but neither one really fit. Dude, I think the only other person you can do is if you grow Bumblebee up because he was the kind of the centric character.
Did he become Goldbug before he became Goldbug?
Yeah, because honestly, he's the only character that you had to say, hey, here's a connection point for the fans. This is our humanizing character for these robots, right? I would have seen him trying to do it with him probably. Now, I would say I'd prefer one of the others like a Jazz or somebody who was still around, but at the same time, some of those really hadn't grown up to that point to be the
Yeah.
leader. They could be a lieutenant and give a few orders, but they're not really in charge of everything to me. And everybody else is already killed off. So
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you can't go Grimlock because I mean, let's just face it, whether he's the king of the Dinobots or not. I mean, it's just Grimlock. So at the terrible fear of sounding woke as fuck with something I hate, what if RC got it?
yeah,
She came off as a very motherly figure throughout the whole movie. She was like either like a mother or a cool aunt.
And
So what if we jump forward 20 years to where it was girl power, and she somehow done.
She had a level of intelligence that was not. She's not smart as Perceptor, but she had more intelligence than say Hot Rod or Springer.
She had street smarts because, like, literally, when she's telling
Yes.
then clearly you're not smart enough to know you should be.
Yeah, and she had a certain emotional level of intelligence, right?
Yeah.
She has a certain level of emotional intelligence that made sense. Like you just said, she's telling, oh, you obviously weren't smart enough to realize you were in trouble, right?
Yeah.
I can see that. I would actually go for that.
I had to go outside the box a little bit for that one, but she fit it the best. I honestly feel like because like Cup's too old. Even if he primes up, he's fucking ancient. He's got a bad spur in his rotator cuff, and Grimlock. Like I say, he's just Grimlock.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you start reaching like just soldiers.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said the only one I would have chosen, not thinking about her because that didn't even cross my mind, but like Bumblebee, just because he's the humanizing character out of all of them. I was like, yeah, I guess you probably would, because they've done that in later series now where he takes over for when Prime leaves or whatever. He's kind of the second in command. I'm like, I don't see it personally, but I get it.
That burns it just grinds my gears every time I see it. I'm sorry. He is always a scout. He will always be the scout. He is nothing more than the fucking scout. He is not a leader. He is not even a lieutenant.
Yeah. So I will say that my question is kind of somewhat similar to yours, but not quite the same vein. But so with this new Rise of the Beast movie, how would you do the next Transformer movie? Do you continue on from this rebooted timeline? Do you do something different? Do you stick with the Beast? What would you want to do? What would be your idea for the next Transformer movie?
I stick with this timeline. I completely forget Michael Bayverse. If you want to keep like the Maximals in the background, I'm fine with that. I don't want to focus on the Maximals. Let's get into some of the more G1 and some really good, Megatron, Optimus Prime, kick-ass battles. And you could even start alluding again to maybe a Unicron or something afterwards. I'm fine with that. But, I would like to see a really good. I don't remember, did they kill Starscream off or did they just kind of like fuck him up real bad in Bumblebee?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it. I haven't read.
I remember he did not get the respect he deserved. I remember that. Like he did on Cybertron, but on Earth he kind of got shit on. But it wasn't as bad as in the Bayverse where Daniel Wiki pretty much kills him, which is bullshit. But I would continue this, and I would do a more additional G1, and you could have a really cool build up to a Megatron, Prime battle.
So I'm going to share mine with you, and it's going to take me a couple minutes because it's pretty long. But I'm going for a trilogy, and I'm sticking with this timeline. But in the first movie of this trilogy, the very first scene is more alien robots landing on Earth. They come out, they meet humans, and you can have whatever kind of story you want to. I haven't really fleshed that out. But what you find out from these is they start explaining their past to the humans they're meeting. These are characters who have come, these are robots who have come from an offshoot colony that colonize another planet. As far as their planet becomes a technological marvel, they've been there for hundreds of thousands of years. You find out that the story that they give for their origin, and to them it's a fictional story with quotations around, is that, oh, we colonized the planet from another one, we moved there. But to them it's a story because it's been so many years ago that it's lost all relevance. They think it's a fake one, right? But what it was is originally they were Cybertronians. They left Cybertron just looking for more life in the galaxy. They were a scouting party. Really. They weren't at war. It wasn't the time of the war. It was before all that. They weren't looking for energy. They found another world. They colonized it, built it up to a technological marvel. And then on their world, they get into a civil war and break out into two factions and start fighting. And that's the reason they're now on Earth, because they have left their planet just like the Cybertronians did, looking for energy at this point because the war has depleted all that. So
realize no matter where they go, they're going to always be at war.
Yeah. So they're going through this, and let's say it's in the 90s era, which is what this newest movie is based in, is in 94, I think. So throughout all this, when they explain to the humans their backstories, what they explain to them is they are the GoBots from Gobotron. So now you have them, and so you got the Guardians and the Renegades.
But they kill Drax's cousin still?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably Psycho does. But you have the Guardians and the Renegades, which are the two factions, and they both have landed on Earth because it's an energon-rich planet. They found, hey, this is our lifeblood. We're going to get the energy from here. Maybe the Guardians are wanting to work with the humans to have some of it, but not take all their resources. The Renegades obviously just want to take it, just like Decepticons, right? They get into a huge battle. At the very end of the first movie, before the battle is over, Psykill is about to slaughter Leader One. You know, he's the leader of the Guardians. He's about to slaughter him. Out of nowhere, Optimus Prime shows up and saves him. So Leader One is immediately surprised, like there's another robot alien on this planet, and I don't recognize you from Gobotron. At the very end of it, Prime defeats Psykill, helps Leader One up, and that's kind of where you end. You go to the mid-credit scene, and Prime is explaining to him that they have a lot to talk about, and explains to him that he and his Autobots are from Cybertron. And when he tells them that, it's like, wait a minute, that's the name of the planet that was in our fictional story that said that's where we came from originally. That was true. So now we are brethren and we colonize planets. You go to the very end of the movie, that at the very end credit scene would be Megatron approaching a defeated and damaged Psykill, offering to repair him and help him out in return for his allegiance to his Decepticons. So Psykill and Leader One both learned that this story that we've heard for years is really true. And how did it come to be that you guys ended up in a civil war and we ended up in a civil war? So no matter what we do, we're always destined to do this. So it kind of gives you an existential thought, as well as, oh, I've got two of my popular properties now put together for this.
Dude, not only is that a fresh start that could be so really cool for the fans, that's actually a really good idea. I like that. I'm down with that, brother. Let me ask you this, though. Is it Matrix or Allspark in your universe?
I go Matrix at Allspark.
It's always Matrix. Allspark was shit.
Matrix and Vector Sigma. I have no problem with having two separate things. Vector Sigma gives them their spark to be who they are individually, but the Matrix is the leadership item and is the ultimate for the leaders.
Okay. I'm down with that.
But that was my idea. But with that, we have been going for quite a while, so it's about time for us to get out of here. But before we do, let's give a shout out to some of our friends. Mr. Wes Hartman, comic creator of DC and Marvel renown. I'm going to start coughing as soon as we do this, obviously.
You got the cough.
Yeah, apparently. You can also find Wes on his Cosmic Roots imprint with series like The Savage Sasqanaut. You can check him out on Facebook at Cosmic Root Studio, on Instagram at The Sasqanaut, and on Cosmic Root Studio, and on his website, www.wes-hartman.com. You can order all of his comics and trades from there, and we will put that somewhere in here so that you can see that. Because I know it's hard to follow me on it, especially when I'm trying to stop coughing now. That's why I'm taking a little bit before we go to the next person. Next up, Mr. Chris Daly, host of the Fueled by Weird podcast. You can find him on Instagram at Fueled by Weird, and on his podcast, Fueled by Weird, where he discusses all nerdy and weird items. Does a lot of great book reviews. Diorama builder and toy customizer, Seth Stafford. You can find him on Instagram at Trophy Hunter Toys. Our friend, content creator, and autism activist, Miss Mandy Lynn, a.k.a. Cushy Mama. You can find her on Instagram at Cushy Mama and on YouTube at Doodle's Toy Report and her new channel, The Collector Sector. I know she's taking a break on that now, but we'll be back soon. And I think her birthday is next week, the June 14th. I saw something posted about that earlier today. Don't forget about our friend, Mr. August Aguilar from Strangefield Studios. Remember, keep an eye out for his new project, The Gifted. Should be coming out pretty soon. I think they wrapped up shooting just a couple of weeks ago, and I saw he's got some new shirts and stuff out there, and he's starting up another new podcast along with the one he currently does. Mr. James B. Jefferson, creator of Warrior Island. You can catch updates on his comic and movie adaptation on his website, warriorisland.com. And don't forget our extended Nerdy Manroom family member, Big Rob. You can find him on his channel, Big Rob's House of Entertainment and No Chinese Food. Where he drops new reviews and unboxings of awesome items, as well as shares stories from life on the road with Big Rob. and a lot of movie reviews lately, especially some of the older ones he's going back through. So if you want extended rewind reviews, see Big Rob.
There you go.
And while you're at it, don't forget to check out our sponsor, These Own Collectibles. You can find them on the internet at theseowncollectibles@gmail.com, on Facebook at These Own Collectibles, or in their store at 305 Main Street. Visit them for all your nerdy needs. Help them support the local artist community by supporting their cause of bringing unity through community. Fandoms unite. And that's all of our friends. But Hassel, before we leave, tell everybody where they can find us as well.
Man, you can find us here on the YouTube. You can find us on Roku and Fire TV via Spotlight Media. This is something new we're upon now. It's a new venture with our sponsor, The Zone. We're on Facebook at Hassel Hutchinson via the Nerdy Manroom Show. We're on Instagram, Nerdy Manroom Show, and Twitter, Nerdy MR Show.
So check us out in all those places and help us with our race to 250. I think we were only a handful away.
We're three away.
Okay, so it's less than the last time I looked. It was 7 the last time I looked. So we're getting even closer. But with that brings us to a close. Join us here next time. We're going to discuss The Flash. Until then, live nerdy and roll out.